This is the plaintiff, Michael Sanchez. He says he's been a DJ for 30 years, and unfortunately, he dropped his computer, which stored all of his music. He brought the computer to the defendant's mom-and-pop repair shop, and while it was under his care, his store was robbed. The defendant's being totally unreasonable about getting him a new computer. He's tried everything under the sun to work with him on resolving this matter, but can't, and is forced to sue the stubborn guy for $5,727.22, the amount he's most definitely owed. This is the defendant, Lucas Ornelas. He says it's true his shop was burglarized and the plaintiff's computer was stolen. He found him a comparable replacement, but he just kept cursing him out and was very rude. How's this guy thinking he can get over $2,000 out of him for a broken computer? That's downright laughable, and he thinks the judge will agree. He's accused of being insecure.
All parties, please raise your right hand. Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. Michael Sanchez, you are suing Lucas Ornelas and Mr. Tex.
That is correct. That's the
Is that the name of the store?
Yes.
Okay. Represented here by Lucas Ornelas. You're the owner, right?
That is correct. Yes.
All righty. For $5,727.22 in damages that you say you sustained when your laptop was stolen from his place. Tell me what's going on.
That's correct, Your Honor. On the date of July 22nd, 2011, I had called Mr. Ornelas to ask him about repairing my MacBook Pro screen. The screen had been broken, and if I could for a moment indicate to you where the computer was broken. Okay. The filaments that control the entire screen are in this area right here, and when the computer fell, it cracked the contact points. So
what are the odds?
And so the computer screen went entirely dead at that point.
Entirely dead screen.
Yes.
All right. So you go to him, and you have ever done business with him before?
I have, as a matter of fact, and he's always been good as far as repairing
so
computers.
So you go there and you quote to him, it'll cost how much?
$300.
And what were you going to do for the $300?
Replace the entire screen with a brand new one.
Okay. Who do you get the piece from? Apple, I guess, right?
Actually, if you go through Apple, it's probably 3 times more. So I have people who can get me the parts.
What, off a stolen truck?
No, I mean,
Apple, it's just Apple. What?
No, they go to the manufacturer directly. Instead of going through Apple, you go through the company that makes the
they just won't have a little Apple in the back?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah,
and
it's an OEM product.
I guess you were fine with that. So it's $300. That's how much the repair was going to be. You gave him how much?
I gave him a cash deposit of $150.
Okay. And then what happens?
Well, approximately a week later than that, I called him just to see how progress was going on the machine. This was on a Wednesday that I called him. I got no return call back. I called him again on Thursday. I got no call back. So I happened to see on Friday, I was passing by where his shop was, and his shop was open. He was there. So I walked in, and Mr. Ornelas had a somewhat, kind of wincing pain on his face, or like somebody about to give you some bad news, because as soon as I saw his expression, I went, uh-oh, to myself. And so I'm wondering what exactly had gone wrong. Well, he indicated to me that a few days beforehand, someone had broken into his computer store overnight and had taken all of his computers.
Okay, what had happened?
What happened was I have a storage room in the back. I have the showroom in the front, and then I do repairs in the back. It was a hot day, and my air conditioning wasn't working correctly, so sometimes I kind of leave the door open in the back. But I'll put something so that if somebody tries to get in, they'll trip over, and I'll find out if, they'll make some noise.
Ooh, that's a Cracker Jack security system, isn't it?
Well, I mean,
you gotta try that at your house.
The way it's set up is I actually have a gate in the back that's locked. So whoever needs to come in has to jump over that gate first.
You have severely underestimated the resorcefulness of the average burglar.
Yeah,
you figure they're too loud. I gotta jump a fence. Then I gotta trip over some foot tall. Forget it. I don't really want that computer. All right, go on.
And I mean, I've done this for many years, and that's pretty much, if it gets warm, then I'll open the door and then the air.
I'll just fix the AC.
Yeah, so on the, which I did it now.
Yeah, sure.
That's over, and I put cameras and everything.
Okay. But what happened? When you left that night, you forgot to lock the door?
No, it didn't happen overnight. It happened during the daytime.
Oh.
Yeah, I actually have a copy of the police
You
report.
realize it the next day?
Yes, the next morning when I came in is when I noticed things were moved around.
How much stuff was taken?
Just his laptop.
Why just his laptop?
And I know it seems kind of weird.
It is
and
weird.
I kind of know
Put
what
your hand down.
happened. I knew who it was. He was a high school student that was coming to my shop.
Why do you think that person wanted his laptop?
Because he liked the Apple products, and he was always
Was that the only
asking
Apple
me.
you had?
At the time, yeah, that was the newest one. Yeah.
So you think it was one of your employees?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not an employee, but an apprentice from a high school.
Plaintiff took his computer to the defendant's shop for repairs. The shop was burglarized and the computer stolen. Kind of weird. Only the plaintiff's computer was taken. Let's listen.
All right. In any event, of course, you're responsible for the computer. There's no question about
Yes.
that. All right. So, but you're suing for many computers. You're suing over $6,000. How do you get there?
Well, what he told me at the time was that it was not only my computer, but he said several computers, including some woman who was a caterer. So
Did you tell him that because you didn't want him to be suspicious?
Well, no,
and think-
when they move stuff around. So in my moment of frustration, like, okay, what's missing? In my head, I said, okay, this one's missing, this is missing, this is missing. So
in your head? Well, how about just checking your inventory like a businessman does to see what's really missing?
Sure.
Was
I know
it just that you
it's-
didn't want him to feel like suspicious?
Part of it, yes, and part of it
because
was.
it sounds really bad that it's only yours.
If I only took a picture of the back of the room back then, I had stuff laying around everywhere. So,
all right, so he tells you that a bunch of missing, but your concern is yours, not the rest of them.
Well, he told me that other people's computers were stolen in order to get more time, in order to replace my computer. He says,
Okay.
oh my God, this woman's yelling at me and she wants her computer too. And so he was under a lot
you
of
made up
duress.
an imaginary person too?
No.
Well, he says you told him that how this woman was yelling at you and
He
you're trying to
told-
get some sympathy from him to cool his jets. And all right, so what happens?
I felt sympathetic as he was telling me, yeah, all these computers are gone. But he said, don't worry, I have insurance. So don't worry, it's going to take a couple of weeks because I have to replace everybody's
police report.
computers.
Right. Okay, so go on.
So I says, okay, well, please keep me posted as to what's going on. I have also
Right.
some.
And then what happens? Does he make you an offer at some point?
What he did must have been about a week and a half or 2 weeks after he called me to say that he had received his reimbursement insurance check. So he says, look, give me a few days. I'm going to be looking for your computer.
Okay. And who set the value at $1,500 to the Apple MacBook Pro laptop?
I did.
You did?
Yes.
All right. And when you got the insurance check, what did you get from the insurance?
I didn't get anything
Why not?
because they said that only my personal property was insured. It wasn't part of the policy.
Your inventory, your entire inventory is other people's stuff, and that you don't have that insured. You should have paid attention
At
to what
the time,
insurance
I
you
didn't.
bought.
Now
All
I
right,
do.
So now, of
Yeah.
course, for the police, because you're busy ginning it up for the insurance company, it's a $1,500 item. But now here in court, you want to tell me that loss of that computer, which is a 1-year-old MacBook Pro, is how much?
$700.
Well, that's what it is today. But this all happened when?
2011.
11, a year ago. What was it worth a year ago?
$900.
Okay, and how do you come up with that figure? If it's $900, why are you lying to the police like that? And to the insurance company? Why is that good for you but not good for him? Why shouldn't I just take your value of what it is?
Well, because at the time it was about $1,500 retail if you go to the store. and
Yeah,
buy
sure, it was.
it. But now there's another. Well,
Everybody is in this for what suits them the best. Everyone is self-interested. All right.
I have
What was so valuable about this computer? You haven't answered me on why
Okay.
it's worth almost $6,000.
Okay. I had several $1,000s worth of music files that I'd purchased through iTunes.
Through iTunes. I thought you said in your complaint that you had this labor
Yes.
of love where you put all this vinyl music.
Yes, I
into
was also doing that at the time, and I just completed doing that. But also, I have to play the music that the people want to hear. So I
Right.
have to constantly be buying music files through YouTube.
Okay, can I
And
see
so-
your proof of $3,542.22 worth of loaded music by you?
Okay. The first piece are the screenshots of my account at iTunes, okay? And then this second is the tabulation, the totals of the songs purchased.
I don't know what you're talking about. Let me see what you've got there. I want to see $3,000 worth of stuff.
The one with
DJ is going to pay $3,500 for music. Wouldn't you just join Rhapsody for a couple months and get everything you need?
I don't want to get in trouble for that.
Why? Rhapsody's not. No, Rhapsody's the one that's a monthly charge, right? Somebody help me. Do we have any youthful people in the audience? It's Rhapsody, right? No, I'm not Napster. I'm not talking about Napster. I'm talking about Rhapsody. But I don't understand. Why would he have to pay you for that? Why wouldn't you just go to Apple and tell them I lost my iTunes library because I broke my computer? Give me a...
This computer, which I bought to replace the stolen one, isn't authorized to play that music. And so I had to go and buy all those songs again.
How many? You have how much in screenshots?
It totals up to $3,000.
You have $3,500 worth of screenshot totals?
Yes.
Okay. And according to you, Apple told you, too bad, so sad, Mr. Sanchez. Yeah. Okay, let me ask you another question. Do you have a backup on a time machine backup?
At the time, I didn't.
Well, what kind of nut doesn't have a backup on $4,000 worth of music?
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. Do you buy this guy's story that he has $3,500 worth of stuff from iTunes in his computer?
Not at all, because if he had that much, you would end up backing it up on a file just to be safe.
Okay, fair enough. And ma'am?
No, most people download for free these days.
Or you find a way to do it, huh?
Or you find a way.
I got your point. And finally?
And if you bought it off of iTunes, you could just reauthorize a new computer and get it all back from Apple anyway. So
Guy's a loser. At least down here, going inside the courtroom.
I didn't have time at that point because I was...
I love that. I love that. I didn't have time. I spent, how long did you spend in the labor of love of copying your vinyl into digital music?
Approximately about 2 years.
2 years.
Yes.
But you didn't have 25 seconds to put an external hard drive on your computer at some point after that in order to save your stuff.
I'm the perfect poster boy for those cloud services.
Yeah, of course.
I hear them all the time.
Oh, you wouldn't even need that. You know what? I like to touch and feel some things. So I would rather have a $70 external backup, have everything, because in the unlikely event that there is some kind of cloud attack, that all of a sudden Apple for the first time has a virus, I don't want to know that my stuff got jeopardized. So I just want this little $70 thing from Costco who's going to have every little thing, all my pictures and my baby pictures and my kids and everything, and I got it right there.
But not
you. You didn't use a cloud? You didn't use a backup. And so he should pay $6,000 for a computer you paid $1,600 for because you don't know how to save stuff.
Well, I was about to save it to a backup. That's why it tipped over.
Oh, at that very moment?
Yeah.
Oh, you were about to save it to an external hard drive and you pushed it off the table at that very moment?
I wish I had.
What are the odds?
Very bad time.
What are the odds?
Your Honor, I'm one of those
So
people.
why $2,035 for resale value of the computer? Well, you said you paid 18? How much did you pay for the computer?
Between 900 and 1,000. I don't remember anymore. It was 2 years ago.
Where's the receipt for that?
I don't have it anymore.
Was it used when you bought it?
Slightly.
It's worth, according to you went on Google basically and found somebody
Amazon,
selling it for $700.
Correct. I could have found it for cheaper if I went like Craigslist or eBay, but
I went up the back of that stolen truck. You could have found it cheaper too.
I looked on. I have some prices.
We're good. Okay. We're good. Very good. Let me tell you first of all, let me educate you on what the measure of damages in court is. You have a certain something you brought to him. The certain something that you brought to him at the time was 1 year old. It was a 1 year old broken apple.
Right.
And that's the value that needs to be repaid to you, a 1 year old broken apple. You see? All right. I would say that the value, I'm going to give you a very generous $900 like he did, even though that's what you paid for it a year earlier. If it was going to cost $300 to fix it and make it work because it was a cracked apple, then the value of what you left in his care is $600. But you also are out $150, which you, through some amazing show of hubris, will not return to him. right?
Well, no, I offered. I told him I'll give you. Well, first I said I'll give you back the replacement, which I had.
He offered a smaller computer.
And you didn't want it.
With
wasn't
my
fair.
eyesight, how I DJ,
I offered him a brand spanking.
Doesn't matter. It was 13 inches. You don't understand. Do you wear glasses? You're talking to the wrong
no.
woman. Do not even go there, okay? I have a 27-inch Mac, and I have to keep pulling it closer because my family keeps pulling it farther. All right. So what you're out is the worth of the computer plus your $150. I'm going to order him to pay you back $750. The other stuff that you are suing for, which is your downloaded music, for two reasons, I'm not going to order him to pay you $3,500. Number one, back up your stuff. That was fine 15 years ago, but in this day and age, no one can say, oh, and you've lost all the value of my sentimental things that was in there because I'm too stupid to back stuff up. I'm not going to listen to it. But number two, Apple, and you're talking to somebody who is a big Apple person. I have many, many Apple devices. Apple will always listen to your sob story. They will listen to you. In fact, you tell Apple that you were in front of Judge Milian in the People's Court, you appeal to their sentiment, and they'll end up restoring your iTunes library. They will not do that to you. I know because I've been in this position before where I've dropped computers and I've had them on multiple computers in my house, and I think you may already know that. $750, verdict for the plaintiff.
All right, so the plaintiff is recovering something. The defendant who got burglarized, what's your reaction to the outcome here?
I mean, I think we could have fixed this a year ago and not have to come here and he have, sue me for it.
You going to upgrade that hoop-de-doo security system you got
I already did.
What do you got now?
I got a couple of cameras and
Head right around the corner this way. Come on in here. And here he is, the DJ for 30 years. You learn a lesson here?
I didn't get to present all of my evidence, and so.
How about backing up?
Yeah, well, I did learn that. I had it. I was about to back it up, and then it fell over.
So what do you do now without all that music when you have a gig? What do you do? Just hum?
I had to buy it already. I repurchased all my songs. I play the song.
Let's hear your DJ voice.
This is it. I speak in my natural tone. A lot of people like that kind of voice as well.
Harvey?
So you have to be reasonable in protecting yourself from damage. In this case, clearly it would have been reasonable for him to back up things. If he didn't back it up, and he's a businessman, tough luck. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.